Good evening, everyone. I'm pleased to present the Treasurer's Report for the fiscal year ending February 28th, 2025. I'm actually in front of Arch right now, a few miles away from Knockaway Lake, so it was interesting to hear the emphasis of Andres talking about the expansion of that nature reserve last year, which we accomplished through the generosity of our donors and the funding. Um, it's a little sketchy out here in terms of internet access, and I've been birding since 4:45 this morning. So if there's a few blurps and blips along the way, it's either my internet or it could be my brain as well. So cross your fingers. This report provides a summary of Ontario Nature's audited financial statements, our revenue and expenditures, and the overall financial position of the organization. It reflects our commitment to responsible stewardship of the resources in support of our mission. I'll begin with a few highlights, walk through some key figures with you, and we'll cover some of the key, essential numbers. Okay. So we had a very good year last year. A record revenue of 4.8 million. Our expenses were 4.35 million. That gave us a surplus of 755,000. That's attributed to some good gains in our investments with Bank of Montreal in our environmental, social, and governance investment portfolio that we have with Bank of Montreal, but also some remarkable generosity from people who gave us bequests and donations and supported the funding. So the success that we had last year is very much due to our members, our supporters, also the remarkable staff that work with those people to help us develop the resources that we need to be able to deliver programs. Okay, I got to shrink my little side view here somewhere. There we go, so I can see the whole screen. So our assets for 2025 increased. Investments are two types. Restricted investments are donations that have been provided to us, and they're allocated to specific types of programs. We also have unrestricted investments as well. The total there was $3.5 million, and those are the investment money that we have with Bank of Montreal through our ESG portfolio with them. And then we have the capital assets, which include easements. We have three easements across the province, nature reserves, and one of the nature reserves grew last year at Gananoque Lake, so there was an increase there. So the total balance sheet for our organization was up about $1 million over last year, up to $15.3 million. Current liabilities are basically money that is allocated, we call that deferred revenue, and it's assigned to either grants that will be coming delivered on or are in progress, or um, also some accounts payable as well as an organization. So our total at the end of the year, $15.323 million in terms of our balance sheet. Where does our revenue come from? Well, you can see that the majority of it comes through program grants. So we have staff that apply to various agencies, foundations, and so on to receive money to deliver programs, things like the Reptile Atlas and so forth. Uh, Donations and bequests and memberships make up over 50% of the funding that comes into the organization as well. The Ontario Nature magazine contributes 4.5%. And then we had investment income providing income as well, and investment gains as well. So we have a combination of resources that provide us with the funding that we need to deliver the programs that we do. Where do we spend that money? Well, 63.6% of the funding that comes in goes to the delivery of the conservation and education programs. And in your meeting this evening, you've heard a lot about the programs and the conservation initiatives that we do each year with your support. Fundraising and administration are small numbers in the range of typical nonprofit organizations in Canada. And we also have the publication of Ontario Nature, which Ontario Nature magazine, rather, as well, which is one of the other factors in the expenses. Our revenue, let's look at the 5-year history. So if you remember, something happened in 2021. That was the first year of COVID. Our revenue dropped in that year. But since then, it's had a steady, uh, it's either a steady state or an increase. And last year, 2025, was a particularly good year, as I said, because of the grants and the requests that we had received. So over time, are going in the right direction in terms of raising the revenue that we need to deliver the programs that we want to do for conservation. Those are the expenses, the programs that we deliver. So we saw in 2021 fiscal year that's the effect of COVID. We cut back on some of the programs because the revenue was decreased that year. But since then, we've been able to increase the number of initiatives that we're working on. And last year we were at I think the highest number that we've had in our 94-year history. So we had 4.3 million in programs that we delivered. Okay. So just to summarize, we're going to continue to safeguard our assets, manage our finances conservatively. We There was an article in our website about a month ago from Joanne Brown, a former member of the board of directors, and she talked about our ESG portfolio, the performance, and the philosophy behind it. If you have a chance to go and look at that blog, I'd really encourage you to do that. It's very informative, and it illustrates why we put our money where we think it's invested wisely in investments that are consistent with our philosophy and our members' philosophy as well. So take a look for that blog. I think it was March 20 or May 22nd, I think it went up. Okay. So that concludes this report at a very high level of my report as the Treasurer of Ontario Nature for the audited financial statements. Your package includes the audited financial statements. All the details are in there um, for um, for the financial numbers for last year. Um, Moving on now to the auditor's report, I'll just summarize that briefly for you. So MNP is our auditors, and they have been for a number of years. I'm very happy to report that Ontario Nature received a clean audit opinion for the fiscal year ending February 28th, 2025. This means that the auditors found our financial statements represent fairly, in all material aspects, the financial position and the results of the organization, in accordance with the Canadian Accounting Standards for not-for-profit organizations. It reflects the strong financial management practice that we follow, oversight by the Finance Committee and by the Board of Directors, and also the diligence of our staff team as well. I want to thank AJ, staff at Ontario Nature, who contribute to making my job as treasurer very easy. And it's great to be able to deliver good news as I've been able to do the last 4 years. This is my last year as treasurer. After 8 years on the board, I'll be retiring. And I just want to say, as I step out the door to go birding again this evening, I've worked with a remarkable group of people over the years, staff, and so I'll really miss them. I'll be able to, I hope, continue to support Ontario Nature and participate in some of the events as well. Thanks.